The new channel. The new channel.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good afternoon. Hello and welcome to the new channel. We are here not only to help you see the new you, but be the new you. I am Jesse Francis Rebustillo, live streaming from Parañaque City, and you're watching the Season 8 premiere episode 127 of HR Hotline. Yes, I was a little bit on a break for a time because I was so busy with my webinars. But it was actually the regulatory break after 7 episodes. It is really wonderful that I was able to, for a year, I was able to finish seven episodes. So here we are on August, which is 8, and on the 8th episode, season of HR Hotline. And it's wonderful, and I'm happy to be back on air. Now, for today, we are going to discuss what should HR do that we are on a lockdown. We are not yet sure because we are dependent on how we can have herd immunity, and we are dependent on the statistics that is actually so distressing. The more infection that is happening, the more that we should be very careful, and the more that we have to follow the protocols. And as of now, almost all are working from home, and almost all are in AWA, which is what we call alternative work arrangements. I can see here that Nympha and Mark Hernandez are already here, and Mr. Wanlu Lunaria. So, what are we supposed to do as HR or as leaders that we are on a lockdown? There are a lot of things, of course, to do personally, but what about first? Also, since it's work-life integration, what are the priorities that we need to do for our organizations? So, I will expect, what do you call this? Friends of mine, let me answer this first. There is somebody trying to call me at this time that I am actually on a Yeah, that's actually Toto Roldan trying to call me at this time that he knows that I have a show. Anyway, can we hear from uh, Jemai and then from Mark and Infa? As an HR person, what do you think are the things that we need to do now that we are on a lockdown? Later on, we discuss actually um, how to ensure engagement and productivity. And of course, later on, we're also going to discuss what are the programs that has to be revised or the policies that be to be revised. For now, very simply, can you share with us what are your best practices? What you're doing? I'll start. I have uh, group chats of my students in ECOP and my students in PIMA who are actually HR uh, practitioners and professionals. The, the priority, of course, is on health and safety. So they are very, very much engaged in the vaccination. So let me see. What do we have here? So hello, Jesse. Jennifer Nuyo, good morning. Can we spot on Jennifer? Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Yes, Jennifer. Yes, Jennifer, you are here. But I would like to to hear from you. What are the things that leaders and HR should do now that we are still in a lockdown? I I mentioned earlier that a lot are very much focused on the vaccination. So what is the vaccination program that you have? Unless you really have that budget wherein you secured vaccines for your um, human resources, for your employees, the best thing for you is to really coordinate with the local government so that your employees are vaccinated. But of course, there is the question: who would like to be vaccinated, and who would like? So that is already given at this time. It's already given that is actually under us, occupational safety and health, that you have to ensure coach cokes, but there is already some uh, what do you call this, administrative orders that we cannot really uh, impose, that people should be vaccinated. So uh, yes, keep your checkpoints short and point, especially most are in work from home. What do you mean by this, Mark? Keep your checkpoint short and point. What you mean are the actual checkpoints that we have? Yes, it is actually a little bit tedious, so lengthy. Yes. So what are the things that we need to do as agents? Safety is still our priority, so we contribute to follow health protocols. Work from home is best. Check on our employees from time to time. That is what I mean. And thank you, Jemai. So so we are in the lockdown and people are actually working from home. So say let's start with safety. What is our engagement as far as safety is concerned? Do we remind them of what to do? HR to coordinate closely with the health and safety and communications group to come to core plan for employees COVID-19 response plan for cases where employees are affected by COVID. This can serve as an input in the employee engagement plan. So yes, so Nympha here is telling us about the communication. So so the scenario is, a situation is they are at home. So what is the engagement of HR and leaders? Of course, it's just maybe reminders. Uh, i-memorize pa ba yan? Yun ang sinabi. Should we still have to coach them? I think so. I think so. That you have to be really engaged on how are they really following uh, health and safety protocols at home, that they are at home. Now, if ever they get sick, this is the thing. So what do we need to do? Can we have some uh, thoughts coming from our invited guests? Now we have here Mark, Nympha, Jemai, and Jennifer. Say somebody got sick, just like say in one of my webinars in the South, during the webinars, actually around three of them got sick. So what should HR do now? Okay. Di ba nagkasakit? So, shall we just send them a message of, yes, Mr. Rene Neri is here. So we are really glad that the executive director of PMAP is with us this afternoon. So I continue with what we are doing now for our employees and workplace. But we must look at the future and prepare for hybrid work arrangements, which I believe will be in the new normal. Okay, so that is one. So while we are in the lockdown and while we are focused on the health of everybody, communicating to them that they have to be careful, but the question that is hanging is when one of them gets sick, so what to do? The executive director of PMAP here is advising us that this is the right time that we must be doing now. What we should do now for employees is actually continue, but think of the hybrid. How are we going to come out? Yung parang hindi tayo mabulaga. Yung parang at this time, you have to be already doing business continuity. I've been telling that there's a difference between strategic planning and business continuity. What Idorine is telling us is the business continuity, which is an HR, which is that simple, who will be assigned working from home and who will be assigned face to face and what will be the guidelines at this time. Right, Mr. Renner, that they must be doing that already. Mark here has a post. Checking on your employees is what I meant. Yeah, pardon my ignorance, Sir Mark. Yes, the checkpoint. Yes, that is actually a what do you call this? Something, Mark, that is something that is not anymore welcome by most of the employees. It's an irritant. It's an irritant wherein you check in early in the morning and you check out as if the timekeeper is back. I know of an association whose managers are actually complaining now because somebody is checking them to be in the morning as part of their bandy clock. And then, so I like this, Mac. Checking on your employees is what I meant. It needs to be short and on point. This is not our first time to be on a lockdown anymore. We have adjusted already. I like it, Mark. Yes. Why is it that every time that there is a lockdown, as if nabubulaga, we are actually surprised and amazed of what to do? Yes. And I agree with you that, Mark, that the checking should be, at this time, there should already be guidelines. Asynchronous and synchronous, and then the arrangements. Just imagine you are working from home and you are actually integrating your life, and there is somebody still trying to check if you're in and out, and you can just actually tell a lie that you're in and actually you're doing something. So those are the things that HR and leaders must look into, to integrate the life of the people working at home. Yes. So, yes, as Mr. Please come back, Sir Rene. Yes, agree with Mr. Rene. Yes, got it. Say, additional resources from NIMFA, additional resources need to be secured for better HMO package and simple gestures of care and engagement of secure. NIMFA, you are right. At this time, they should have to be, what is the right term? Upgraded? A lot of people are actually keen on health and safety. So I think uh, uh, organizations must look into it on how they can upgrade their HMO. If not HMO, actually provision of, say, uh, what do you call this? Supplements and vitamins. Thank you, Nifa. We have here somebody from Jennifer. Jennifer is a friend of mine in the Philippine Association of Professional Speakers. Yes, Jennifer. When one of them gets sick, we follow as usual health protocol. Employees gets sent home and will update immediate manager or his health condition. This is assuming, Jennifer, that the employee is still reporting to work. So if you get sick, then the same protocol should be followed. But my question earlier is, what should HR do up to what extent? I know if Mr. Rene Hiner is here, there are some best practices in PMAP wherein the HR actually facilitates, but I don't know if all of us can do that. Say one of our employees really got sick, or one of our employees, significant other got sick. What is actually our engagement? So this is actually the point of this conversation this morning. So from NIMFA, some companies already assign team members as positive boosters and do mental health check. Oh, this is another aspect. Yes, because this is one of the the challenges and the issues now that I don't know. Pardon by mentioning it. I don't know if it is for real, or I don't know if it is just something that everybody is actually freaking out, that they feel that there is on the verge of depression, on the verge of mental health, and everybody feels about it. I have friends who are coming here that they are sometimes they have that in their mental in their thinking. So right, Nympha, that there should already a team that should look into this. So actually preparations, a preparation out of who will be involved, who are really deserving, who are really trained to really counsel and handhold people who are actually having challenges. Then we have aunts. Yes, thank you for joining us. Then we have, who is this HRAD org dev? As employees, their whereabouts and close contact for the past week for contact tracing purposes, assist them with HMO and other healthcare requirements, especially if you have HMO as a company benefit. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this comment. You are also working from home. So it's easier to ask them. Just imagine the situation is an employee of yours whom you asked to report got sick and is now sick, and everybody is actually freaking out and say they're in the polog, they are in the ligan. And then what are you supposed to do that you are commanding them or actually monitoring them from a distance? So let's have here Mark Fernandez. Thank you for joining, Mark. Yes, Mark is an officer of the Philippine Management, or the People Management Association of the Philippines. HR is the, in the absence of safety team, should have a constant and timely communication to remind employees of the processes on safety and health. Thank you, Mark. But you know, the question here, Mark, is uh, should HR be the one to reach out? But of course, that should be the answer. Or should HR wait for questions and be able to answer? So this is actually a communication arrangement that HR must actually practice now. A a constant updates coming from HR, reaching out for people, and coming the from the employees, informing HR. You know, I am not involved in any organization, but I have friends and families. In 2 days' time that I don't hear anything from them, I text, "Are you sick?" Ganun ako ka-articulate. Yes. So what is next? We have here Nimpa. Hopefully, this pandemic is now included in the scenario for crisis emergency plan. I like it, Nympha. Very good. For the company and crisis communication plan, internal employees and external stakeholders, government agency, and customers. Now is the time. Alam mo, Nympha, actually, the deadline was actually yesterday, because as mentioned by Mark here, we have been used to it. It's already a year and a half. So actually, the crisis management should already be in place, that everything that is happening is in a crisis. Is in a crisis. You know where to get that medicine. I would like, don't want to mention it, that you know, that the Chinese medicine that also everybody is endorsing. Those are crisis thing. The only thing that I recommend is the tuob, the suob, but you know, that is already something that the entire HR team, the entire leadership team must have. You know what is sad? There are times that leaders, supervisors, and managers still, what do you call it, endorse these problems to HR. What are your thoughts on this, Mark and Jemai? I know that there are some PMAP members who are actually not actually complaining but mentioning that uh, the situation is that everything is endorsed and dropped to to the hands of HR. So yes, Nympha, can we spot on Nympha? Should be proactive approach in terms of communication with employees. So that simple question, what are we supposed to do? And then the focus is on health. So the protocols are there, then the communication should already be set. And then the setup should be, as I gathered from NIMPA, it has to be crisis management mode. So crisis management mode. Now that we are on the lockdown, I know that it has been extended. So and then this is not only for Metro Manila and then some key cities. So try to share this, and they should know. One is the communication uh, structure should be there. But the question is, who should be doing it? Who should be doing it? As I mentioned, there are still leaders that when there is actually is a close quotation, an emergency, they bring all of that problem to the HR as if that they are not responsible also for the people. So what I mean is, if kung may nagkasakit under the manager is actually account responsible, and as a leader, he must actually be the one to take charge, to take care of his employees. But HR must really come up with a structure on what to do this. So walang sisihan. But right now, there should be actually an arrangement or a structure. There is a comment coming from Jennifer. Based on research, lockdown extended indefinitely can cause mental distress. Yes, I know, Jennifer. So what Ninfo was telling us earlier, at this time, there should already be a team. If no one is actually competent in the organization, then they have to get an outsider like you. Jennifer here provides counseling. Mhm. So that should already be in place. That should be already be in place. Yun ang point nito eh. At this time of the lockdown, I thank you, Mark, for reminding us. Uh, at this time at the lockdown, dapat in place na yan. So what to do should be, everything should be in place. The communication, including what to do, and then the arrangement on the crisis management. So if one got sick, who will take charge? Just imagine, say again, this is an actual situation. The one who is actually paying me got sick, so I have to wait for whoever will replace her so that I can be paid. So that should have been set up already. Because thank you, Nympha, if we are in a crisis and you may not know it, yung replacement dapat ready. Hindi pa pwede. There is also an actual situation wherein I am supposed to be paid. I do a lot of webinars. That is why my my, my example is actually payment. I am supposed to be paid, but there was a lockdown and nobody, I don't know if they cannot do it online. So I have to wait until such time that the lockdown will be lifted. So you know what to do. Nympha, in my previous work, we have the apps. They have the apps and nearby hospitals where to bring employees injured accidentally. Maybe this can be done also by companies now, so that there will be hospital ready to accept the employees with COVID. This is special assistance of the company to help employees and their families. Ay, naku, Nympha, I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting this that should come from you. Kasi I know of a lot of situations, not in here in Metro Manila, but I have friends actually in Sido, in Iligan, and somewhere in Cebu. Not actually in the city, but somewhere in Cebu and in Dipolog, wherein pagdating nung ganon, talagang natulala talaga. Kawawa naman yung HR. And then sabi ng HR, customer suggest a lot of things for us to do. Siyempre, ang una muna, what is your role? How how far will you, how far will be your contribution? Because of course the family is also worried, and of course they're also looking for that. But there are some families wherein they really, what do you call this, expect a lot from the company, from the organization that they are working with. So ito tama ito, Nympha, na dapat nakaset up na if ever, kung ang mahirap niyan kung filled up yung hospital, saan mo dadalhin? Saan mo dadalhin? So siguro kahit na yung isolation, just imagine if you are a company somewhere in the south, I know that a lot of them are actually boarding on boarding houses or in living in apartments, and one of them got sick and then they report to HR. So what should HR do? So ito yun. Mark, can you help me come up with, and Gemma, because you are actually practicing HR, very efficient and effective HR managers. Paano ang gagawin ng HR kung may malaman sila ng isang the situation, the scenario is one of their engineers in a particular house that they are staying got sick. Ano yung role mo? Ano yung intervention? Is that, am I correct? Intervention? Okay. So we have here from Nympha again. Can we spot on Nympha direct? Yes. Yes. In my previous work, we have, yes, and an absent. So those are the things. I like it that we are just provoking ourselves. So these are the things that we have to think about on what we are supposed to do. But of course, we should not forget us. Let us not forget us. Here that we are in the lockdown, I can see a lot of HR still going to their companies. I told them, why are you there? You can work from home. And if there is really an emergency or a meeting, you can just be there for that particular time, and that hindi magbabad. You don't really have to be there the entire time that it is 8 to 5. And that is what we are going to discuss later. So let's have a break. And after that, we discuss how can we ensure engagement? Let us be ready about it. Then the other one is what are the things that we need to revise. But before we go, Jennifer here has can we spot on Jennifer Nuya? Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer, organizations need the national government's help in protecting the mental health of Filipinos. Right, Jennifer? This is one thing that is missed. Jennifer, I told you earlier, I have friends coming here, and in our discussion, pero selected, it is a very tiny bubble. I only accept friends, but it's actually out. It's al fresco. I don't let them in, and we really talk. I follow protocols, and in our conversation, it's different. I really find it a little bit already close quotation weird, because I am already getting some. Jennifer, are you listening? They are already expressing boredom, as what do you call this, angst and despair. So I think should be something about this. Organizations need that national government help in promoting mental health. We can only do so much, but if they keep making the rules as we go, it leaves everyone confused. Even the vaccination card is not honored by other countries. Yes, Jennifer. There is actually, no blaming now, but we should put our acts together. One is, I know of a center that is the one in Cabuyao, Algon, actually managed by the Gonzalez family. They provide actually now mental health. And you are one of them, Jennifer. They can call you if you can place your contact numbers here. That organizations really need set up a program on this. You know what I'm thinking, Mark, and uh, what do you call this, Gemai? We are in the leadcom, and we are actually doing mentoring and coaching. I think we need to come up with some guidelines for companies to beef up their mentoring and coaching and include something on mental health. But not to blame, this should have been done before. But at this time, if we still have the time, dapat gawin na yun. Okay. So, yes. What is your name? HRAD Organization Development. Yes, can we spot on that it would be nice if we can call you by your name. Wag muna papasukin yung employee. Interview him and then initiate contact tracing, monitor close contact employees for symptoms. Yeah, that is what to do. Di ba what to do? But of course, yun eh. Yung kung na-found out, by the way, this is a real, a real situation. So you're right. Huwag muna papasukin. But paano kaya yung pag-isolate? Diba? Kasi he's also working, he's also residing in a place na mayroon din mga tao doon na working. You can imagine, say, all these big companies in Santa Rosa, in Laguna, and in Batangas. Yung mga workers dyan, some of them are actually Bicolano ito eh. They all came from Bicol, and then they stay together in one apartment, share, and then they stay there. Then one of the engineers got sick. So what to do? What should HR do? And then they're asking, Sir Jess, ano ba dapat ang gawin ng HR sa amin? So yun. So yun ang problema. Kaya ako naisip itong discussion natin na ito. So yun. So okay. Right? Okay. So ang sabi dito ni thank you Mr. Rene Henner. Can we spot on Mr. Henner? Yes, he's my idol. With due respect to Dole, but personally I find it conflicting that employees provide vaccination for employees for free to have a safe work environment but on the same, diba? Hindi natapos. Yes, ako rin nag-question na din po. Sir Rene, can you stay? Kasi yung next topic natin is on how to ensure engagement and productivity. I would like you to share what we got from the PMAP Awards. Edi Rene had a very, very, what do you call this, a successful PMAP Awards event. The process is really so nice. And then later on, Edi Rene, I would like you to share with us what are the guidelines and what are the practices that should be revised considering of what we are experiencing now. So, okay. Mayroon pang ginagay dito. Direct, bago tayo mag-break. Yung kay Nympha muna. Kay Nympha. Can we spot on Nympha? Before we get the we have mental health act on 2017 and we need to fully implement it. Right, Nympha? Right, Nympha? And then Mr. Renner, can you spot on Mr. Renner? Yes, potentially be the source of contamination in response to Dole employees. Yes, and then the last one of Nympha, Dole declared that it is not mandatory and therefore those that it refused to be inoculated could. Yeah nga, Nympha, ganon. So can we have the break? Kasi yan ang aking instruction, and then we come back, we continue with our conversation, and that one of how we can make them engage and how can we what are the things that we need to revise. Okay, can we have the break, please? Yes, thank you very much. So we continue. So can do we still have to spot on somebody? So after the break, uh, so we already uh, thank you for sharing. What we need to do is actually communication, set up everything on that crisis management mode, and then make sure that everybody's vaccinated. But specifically, what to do if the situation is an emergency, and that is already should be clear for all of us. The not only for the HR but also for the entire leadership. It has to be a what do you call this? A collaborative uh, uh, engagement, a teamwork. There should be a team trying to really respond to crisis situation. So can we now discuss on the second item that I mentioned is um, how can we ensure that there is engagement, that we are working from home, including us, and actually work on our productivity? Because I know as either Rene will share that to us that a lot of those that we have interviewed in the PMAP Awards, they actually uh, what do you call this? Parang they expressed that their their productivity went down a bit. So how can we ensure as HR and as leaders that they are engaged? Can we spot on Mr. Cloyd Salamat? Hello, congratulations, Cloyd. You are now actually joining a new organization. How nice. You should still be engaged, Mr. Salamat. Okay. Employers may provide a workspace for non-inoculated employees. Right. Right. Dapat yun. Dapat may magawa na yun. I think there was already an advisory in that. Because, it will not really be parang comfortable if say I am one, say I am going to work, I am a consultant now, and after the lockdown is lifted, I am supposed to do interviews. I will not be comfortable if I will be interviewing somebody who has not been vaccinated also. So it will affect productivity. Right, Serene? Very good. Can we have Jennifer Nuya direct? I uphold our God given right to bodily integrity. People should be able to say no to inoculation. I agree also. I agree also. If they don't want it, research shows that both the vaccinated and unvaccinated have the same level of virus in the bodies. Both, both can shed the virus. Yes, but Jennifer, we have to look in some arrangements wherein should be comfortable working. Anyway, kung you may herd immunity na doon sa tiny bubble ninyo, say in your organization, a group of 50, say around 35 or 40 has been vaccinated, those that we don't want to be vaccinated, it's just okay. But you still have to follow protocols. Anyway, we need to follow protocols. Can we have a spot on Nympha, please, direct? Yeah, it is a great challenge for HR on how to strike a balance between manning the company at an efficient level of meeting the operation requirements versus protecting the health and safety of the employee. Right, right. Very nice statement. It is really a challenge, Nympha. This is why I'm asking it. How can we ensure engagement and productivity now that we're also thinking of their safety and health? Because this is what we call that it is the business continuity requirement that we need to do. I've been mentioning this. They think that business continuity is that's the strategic plan. Yes, of course, this will be strategies, but every now and then business para ba yung team building and team alignment. Every day dapat mag-team building ka. Yung business continuity dapat every day iisipin mo 'yon. Pero yung strategic planning, that is also the session that where you come up really with the SWOT, the plans and everything, and then that is actually what you follow for the goals. And similarly, team alignment, ganun yun. Pero yung business continuity, itong sinasabi ni Nympha, it is really a challenge and how to really strike a balance. How can you continue business trying to, actually Nympha, we call that navigating the paradox. And that is very Ulrich. Ulrich told us that that is a competency of to navigate the paradox. And this is now the paradox. How can we ensure that there is engagement and productivity amongst our employee versus the health and protection. Ay, mayroon pang idadad kayo dyan, Nympha. Don't take this against me. Versus pa, yung katamaran din. Yung katamaran. Naka-work from home na, hindi mo matawagan. So let's go to Mr. Rene. Build a stronger sense of community to include activities outside of official work, such as an open discussion of a fun topic such as the latest K-movies or about BTS. Right? 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 Oy, napanood ko. I thank Signal TV. I have now a Signal TV here. And nakita ko one time dun sa MTV yung BTS. Right. This provides employees a good break and eventually increase productivity. Also involve family members for employees provide a good high-tech workspace and home. Just some ideas. Right. Right, kasi di ba, Sir Rene, you mentioned that this will, I think, be already institutionalized, yung hybrid. Di ba? Actually, all this as story functions should actually be working from home. So right now, HR must be thinking how they can come up with a productive scenario. Now, that is not only all work, we know that, and there should be life integration. And then I got it from you, Sir Rene, in some of our discussion doing the PMAP screening. Ang sinabi natin, well-being. We are in that era of well-being. So, titingnan natin na the productivity is actually not only anchored to the time, to the space, but also to their well-being. Right. So, let's go to Jennifer. I am sad that some forces of work trying to divide people. We used to have white versus people of color, men versus women. Now, unwittingly, we are adding vaccinated. Yes, yes, Jennifer, I agree with you. You know, the only answer is that everybody should actually follow the protocol. Just like me, I still go out to the bank. I still go out to the wet market of all places, the wet markets, because I still would like to buy tuna panga and all of those. But you do not know who are vaccinated or not, and you do not know your relatives, are you vaccinated or not. Just siguro make sure that you are properly protected, and then we can live work harmoniously. I feel you, Jennifer. I feel you, Jennifer. So we don't need more division of these trying times. We need more unity and harmony. I agree, PP Jesse. We can always have an arrangement amenable to both groups. Okay, Mark Hernandez. Can we go to Mark direct? Spot on, Mark direct. Yes. To keep employees engaged, make use of different platforms, including social media, for learning and development. Main platform, we use it in Zoom. For faster day-to-day communication, Viber. Yes, Viber or Messenger, the group chat is very nice. Yes, I agree with you, Mark, with Zoom. Mark, I actually refused a student of mine in ECOP asking me to do a webinar on Teams. I already had that experience with PIMA. And then Richard actually decided that we use Zoom because Zoom has a better facility for webinars rather than for. So you can remember I researched it. Teams and other things are for collaborative, for actually internal communication. But actually it's Zoom. So thank you, Mark, for this mentioning that. Then we have here Jennifer. Serene, wonderful idea. You can hold a watch party together. Yes, yes. I will have this. Kasi I think we will continue this discussion on Thursday. Then Jennifer and Serene, I will invite you to be on screen on Saturday. On Saturday, that is our arrangement, and we can have this continue. We continue this conversation kasi this is real. Dapat ang discussion dito sa HR outline, hotline, real time. Ito yung dapat mabigay sa mga HR. I invited my students in PMAP and in ECOP. They will be watching this, and then they need your inputs. Sir Rene, can we spot on Mr. Rene? Managers must interact one-on-one with their employees. Engagement must be personalized. People must be treated as individuals, tapping into each employee's needs, driven outlook and expectations. Right, Sir Rene? But you know, Mr. Rene, yan ang problema kasi before we were not able to train our leaders of this arrangement, they actually, when there are some problems, no, endorse it to HR. And needed ngayon nakikita talaga ngayon yung leadership. So one thing siguro, some of that is why I'm busy. Some of the organizations now are actually catching up and doing some uh, reskilling, retooling their leadership. Ako, I am actually doing four webinars on leaders, and these are big organizations. Just actually refreshing. Yes. Oh, Mr. Plana is here. Okay. Can we see that the preview? Did I miss a that one from PMAP? Okay, yes. Can you spot on PMAP awardees have a common people orientation. Malasakit. In the real sense of the world, they've been walking their extra mile. Right. But you know, Idurene, that we had that very nice annual conference. They really have to look into what is the real malasakit. Diba? Kasi that is just it's a lip service. You know what I can share? Go into the root of malasakit is the kapwa management done by Mr. Tiangke and Mr. Kabutchan. Diba? Yung talagang yung pakikipagkapwa before you actually go into your program, try to look into that. Mr. Plana is here, my good, my idol, my idol. Leaders should be taught how to lead remote workers. That's true. Up to now, Jerry, it is a struggle. It is a struggle. And then the worst is the ones actually guilty on this are the senior and executives. I know that. Chismoso po ako. Uh, uh, Tamad makipag-asynchronous. One way of increasing engagement is to ensure employees love their work. Ito nga, kung nagkulang yung coaching at mentoring, ganun din. Leaders should have a conversation on how to make work interesting and fulfilling. In a hybrid setup, leaders should not treat remote workers as second-class employees. Spot on yun. Tama. Remote and non-remote employees should be fairly treated in terms of compensation, promotion, and incentive. This is the new leadership challenge. Ayan. Kaya talaga si past President Jerry Plana maglagay, librong-libro talaga ang parang come up na tayong right. You know, what HR should really do is to come up with what they call this focus group discussion, meetings, and trying to beef up the understanding of leaders that they must be coach them, that coach the X and the coach the CH, that they should really be more reaching out to their employees kasi they need it. So we have here Charis Sampang. Thank you for Charis Sampang, the voice artist. Even interviewers are in Zoom or in Google Meet. Right. You know, yung sinasabi ni Charis is how to increase engagement and productivity even in the choice of platforms. Oo naman. Even in the choice of platforms. Dapat HR must be keen on that. Yung sinabi ni Mark at sinabi nito ni Charis. Kasi we are on that. And then si Angel Pineda. Thank you, Angel, for joining us. Our company is 100% adapted to hybrid work setup. But right now, we have to meet some employees to sign important documents like contracts and quit claims. That needs to be signed in ink. But they refuse to come see us due to the COVID scare. Oo naman. What is another way that you have been practicing in your companies? You know, ang quick answer ko dyan, Angel, is yung e-signature nga. But you know, there is that one wherein, I'm not an endorser, but mayroong Adobe apps wherein you can ask them to sign, but you know, it will take them, you still have to register, but if you can do it. But you know, the e-signature will do, or just make sure na yung mga quit claim, siya. Can anybody help us here? Gemma, Mark, or anybody on these are actually technology technicalities. Alam mo kung sa akin kung yung acceptance or approval are coming from a, a yung kanyang, what do you call this? Yung yung address niya, yung Gmail address niya. Pero na siguro to be considered na siya yun eh. Siya yun. Kasi ngayon is yung quit claim talaga dapat pirmahan. Pero I'm not very sure. Angel, we need a a a sound advice from an attorney as regards to that. Kasi yung dapat pumirma. But a lot of my contracts now, Angel, are on e-signature. Yeah, kasi and these are actually uh, transactions that involve malalaking pera. It's actually on e-signature. And that should be part. So you need to have what do you call this, an imprimatur from your president or from the board that the e-signature is accepted. Okay. So we continue. So we still have time. Ano kaya yung anong mga i-revise natin? What are the things that we need to revise? Ida Rene has been telling us of things to do. Thank you, Ida Rene, for that. Diba? Dapat may segregation siguro so that there will be some comfort. Pero sabi nga ni Jemay, it may really, again, be an irritant kasi you are discriminating one from another. So, HR should really navigate on this. What are you going to do of people working together? Some are vaccinated and some are not. Actually, ang problem dyan, Jemay, kung maarte, very particular, yung the one that is vaccinated and doesn't work with somebody who is not vaccinated. So that will really be a problem of the leadership and of HR, how you're going to come up with people working together. Now there will be no discrimination and there is an assurance. So I think that is the problem. And can I hear your thoughts here? Si Sir Jerry, ang ganda yung shinare niya. These are actually for leaders and leaders should really be taught how to lead. Alam mo, Jerry, that is what I mentioned. I am actually doing that. So we have from Giselle as well. Hey, Sir Jess, for productivity, employees can be encouraged to have a shared weekly, monthly goal with their team. They have a weekly or bi-weekly accountable check, but not to be a point of micromanagement. It also provides avenue for informal kamustahan sessions. Right, Giselle? Yung na, Giselle, what I actually teach in the webinars relevant to this topic. I told them that from goals, strategic goals, objectives of the department, objectives, and then it is your objective. Ang nakalimutan, we have to come up with the to-do. So just siguro that we have to come back. It is just like if you are old enough, just like me and Jerry and Mr. Rene here, noon yung tinuturo nung Franklin and Covey. Yung Franklin actually is the forerunner of the planner. Doon ko nakuha yung sa Franklin, yung to do. And to do is not actually the routine. Actually, nalilist mo na yung routine, what you're supposed to do. To wake up, brush your teeth, those are routine. But you really have to select what is the to do. And what I can recall, there should only be up to 3 to do in a day. So yan dapat ang pag-usapan siguro nung leader and nung employee. What is yours to do today? And of course, dapat magawa mo yan ngayon. And that should be some check-up if they were able to finish it. So it's actually management by objectives. It's not actually managing by the time that you are there. Kasi you can just log in at 8 o'clock and then cook and then walk by the dog. Kanina, I was in a meeting, but actually I was also taking my breakfast. You can also do that so that they are not actually focused. But siguro ang arrangement is on that synchronous and asynchronous. When are you going to meet as a team and meet individually? Say you are an afternoon person, so you have to tell your boss that you can meet me. But siguro ang importante is that one of to do. Sinabi sino ito nagbigay? Si Angel. Yes. So, yun ang pag-hybrid. Now, tapos naman, Angel, yung hybrid, for those that are not really expected to, yung nag-report ka doon, just to report kung kailan yung meeting. What is the purpose of reporting to the office? Tapos you're not supposed to be working there the whole time. Yung kasi ang ginagawa ngayon, yung parang alternative work arrangement, parang 3 days work from home, 2 days in the office. And then some of them are really scared doing that. Ang sabi ko naman, if it is not really important that you really have to meet, then work from home. So dapat ngayon na-set up na everything, all your the data that you need are actually accessible from your home. From your home. So yun, yung gagawa ka ng to do. Can we spot on again what was the last direct? That one from Giselle? Yes. Okay. Mayroon ditong sinabi si Mark. Leader should can we go back to what kay Mark? Marami na pala. Leader does not need to be visible to the employees but available. Yes, actually that is the presence. That is the online presence. That is actually the burden. Kung magreklamo ang leader, gusto mo maging leader. That is why your salary is higher. So dapat talaga if you are on call, baliktad ngayon eh. Hindi on call yung tao, on call dapat yung leader. Pero pwede naman mag-check up from time to time. Then we have here from Mr. Rene. Congrats, Jess, have to move to another session. Now, thank you very much. I'll expect you, Sir Rene, to be back for this week kasi we need this. Thanks a lot. Then we have Jennifer Nuya. Have you considered asking them to send a scanned copy of the signed contract? Yun na nga eh. Yeah, do you answer dito sa tanong doon sa signature? Yes, Jennifer. Then we have here from Charisse. There are e-apps in there is what you call mga e-apps. Adobe has one. So Giselle is I'm personally sent can we spot on Giselle Pascual? I personally sent an original hard copy to the documents via courier and have them send it back to the office. I guess something you can try to explore. Yes, pwede rin. But pwede rin. Kasi there are times na I receive something from the courier here and then I sign it. Charisse here, there are available e-apps on virtual signature just like in our insurance company. Then we have Mark. Can you spot on Mark? Yes. Review your AWA policy, but this will depend on what business you are in. Yes, Mark. Civil service has already some guidelines. Actually, the one that I'm teaching is based from civil service. Mind you, civil service. I know, Mark, you have one. I know you have one. Ayala. And then the Ayala group of companies and Gokongwei group of companies. What you can do is just siguro benchmark with them, hindi naman cut and paste, and then try to see what are the basta ang ano ko diyan, Mark, is if the functions are really from work from home, dapat institutionalized na to be working from home. But if there is a requirement that they have to be face to face, then magpunta lang dan mag face to face, kasi the reason for being, they give their space to those employees who really have to be working in the office. Kasi dapat kahit na yung workspace po ngayon naapektuhan, there should actually be some measures. So, nandun tayo kay Mark. Then we have Charisse. Can we spot on Charisse? Both vaccinated and vaccinated can be carriers. I know that, Charisse. And we have Christine. Hello, Sir Jess. That's true. We must also focus and consider mental health, especially for those who work and stay inside the project. I know this. You know, Christine, I will tell you this. Chismoso talaga ako. Ang mahirap nito yung yung talagang naka-isolate, yung working in mines, working in resorts. Yung para bang they're working there, but the what do you call this, yung contact, yung naiba yung traffic. So the 1 year and a half is actually something for people to really be a little bit tired and agitated. So really have to look into that, Christine. Time is so fast because we started a little bit late. We started at 12:10 and it's already 1:12. Yeah, um, can I request that the same group be with me on Thursday because I have a new topic to us, but still on the real time because we were not able to actually discuss everything. That one of engagement and productivity, can we be ready to share our thoughts on this? Because that is actually a problem. This is actually a, a question sent to me by one of my students. And then the other one of what are the things to be revised. Mark, I would like you to be around and all the HR practitioners here. Jerry is also. I would like to get your insights on Thursday on what particular policies, programs, activities should be reviewed and then improved and be revised for the, it's not even for the next normal, for the real normal. I've been telling them that they have to actually review their mission and their vision and actually input what is happening. I've been telling people that they have to actually no blaming, quickly set up all the programs, HR programs that will support the challenges of these lockdowns and quarantine, which is actually meetings and mentoring and coaching. Yes. Yes, Mark. Yes, yes. There is an IR Capian on musings on Dole advisories. Mark, can you tell us when is this? This is on the 17th. Am I right? Is it today, Mark? Can you inform us, Mark, please, please, Mark. I am a member of the IR committee of PIMA. Uh, yes, Mark, can you tell us the it's on August 20. At what time, Mark, and how much? I know it is 300 pesos, and it's from 2 to 3 o'clock. I can still remember. So, for everybody here, and then try to inform because the topic is actually this musings on Dole advisories. And this is it. The real situations that we are in now. Yung ating, it's actually from 2, yeah, I got it, Mark. From 2 to 3 p.m., it's around 300 pesos. Then try to log on to PMAP, and join us because this is actually a continuation of what we are discussing, but more on the legal aspect because we are going to look into the Dole advisories. PMAP is actually looking to this, and the IR committee actually chaired by Mark and actually led by Attorney Wins of the Kokongway Group. Yun. So yun. So sa mga lahat po rito na interested, please join PMAP on August 20 at 2 to 3. It's only 1 hour, but they are going to discuss all the advisories that we have on COVID-19 and how are we going to approach it. Okay. So non-member 500 pala. Ayun, nakita ko member is 300. So yun. So Mark, it would be nice if you can post here how they're going to register. Just siguro the email address. Kasi this will be seen later on by everybody. And then it will be nice. Yeah, alam mo, for all of us here, for HR, including me, any information, anything that will actually, yung tinatawag na adaptive learning, anything that will add into to update you, grab it, grab it, grab it. Okay. Let me continue my conclusion. The reason why I would like to have this group again, because we even haven't discussed, aside from health and safety, what are the other things that HR should do? Kaya si Jerry, kailangan ko. Kasi, don't tell me that you're going to leave behind succession planning, compensation and benefits, or your competency management. So I would like to get your insights on this. Kasi yun na nga ang sinasabi ko na baka you are so engrossed now on health and safety, you have forgotten that there are other functions Functions yan. Functions yan eh. A function that means that it cannot really be alive, be dynamic if you don't do it. There are other functions in HR or in management that should be done. Yes. Okay, ito na. Thank you, Mark. So this is where please register to the email margot.norega@pmap.org.ph. So for everybody, if you are not interested, kindly share this with your colleagues that if they are actually would like to be enlightened on the various advisories from Dole on COVID-19, they have to attend this. They have to attend this. Oh, so there goes, ladies and gentlemen. What a wonderful day. The HR Hotline is back. We are starting with season 8. And I will always invite you to be with us, not for our conversation, but these are shared. And the last time that I gathered it, there is around 500 people actually engaged in this community. So this is actually being shared. Okay. So let me now invite you for the TNC shows before I do my parting message. So TNC is a live stream platform on online shows for people on the go. We are inviting you to watch all our shows as seen in our screen. We aim to transform the lives of our viewers through engaging, authentic, and original content. Our mission is to become a community where passionate people accept each other, share inspiration, and promote positive transformation. Our vision is to be a global 24/7 live stream channel that showcases Filipino talent, global influencers, cultural intelligence, and ingenuity. Of course, be with us Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at HR Hotline. Don't forget to always watch and support HR Hotline. You can watch us live to have our own show. You would like to sponsor my show, please contact our channel through private message. More upcoming shows to follow in TNC now on our Facebook, YouTube, and other social media platforms. Enjoy our life-changing shows because we made them for you. So there goes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Gemma. Thank you, Therese. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Angel. Thank you, Pipi Jerry. Thank you, Ido Rene, for being with us. Ninfa also, for being... Ismael, you are late. You are late talaga, Ismael. Ismael, dapat maaga ka sa Thursday. So we continue this kasi I would like this to be engaging, and then it is something that we are actually contributing to the profession. Then later on, I have some ideas what we're going to do more on what we're going to share. But at this time, it's real time. We're all in the lockdown. So let us share best practices that other HR and leaders can emulate, and so that all of us are actually surviving and thriving this pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jesse Francis Rebustillo. Thank you very much. Use Mabalos,